What's going on, guys? Charles Weinraub, AKA the Handsome Homebuyer, and on this week's educational vlog, I'm going to teach you how to transition from residential real estate, whether you be a realtor or an investor, into commercial real estate, which I feel is the best way to get involved in commercial. A lot of people want to get into the commercial real estate world, whether they be realtors or investors, but it's very, very, very difficult. It's like a good old boys club. Everything is held close to the vest on both the realtor side and the investor side. So the question is, how do you get into it? What's the easiest, smartest, best way to do it while enabling yourself to pay your bills and actually support your lifestyle and your family's lifestyle? Because the two big things you need to know about commercial, especially in New York, which is pretty much the hardest place to do anything, is it takes a lot of time to get deals done, and it's huge money, or can be. Obviously, there's different levels of commercial. You have commercial jobs, you have commercial deals that are a few $100,000s, and then you have commercial deals that are hundreds of tens of millions of dollars and everything in between. So in this week's vlog, what I'm gonna discuss is maybe you're a realtor who wants to get into the commercial world, or maybe you're an investor who wants to get into the commercial world. But again, how do you transition? Let's start out with realtors for the moment. I have a lot of agents come to me and call me up and say, hey Charles, listen, I see you doing commercial business, that's great. I would love to be a commercial agent, but I have no idea how to do it. I don't know where to get the training. I don't particularly understand. What do you recommend? Now, I always tell everybody, listen, there's tremendous opportunity in the commercial world because the percentage of people that are operating at that level are much smaller than in the residential world. For example, on Long Island, New York, there's 28,000 realtors. Only 300 of the 28,000 are commercial real estate agents. And of the 300, I would say maybe 50 of those are actually doing business. So you have a very small group of people doing all the business. So what does that mean? Opportunity, huge amounts of opportunity. But it's gonna take time, it's gonna take work, and how do we get there while still earning a living at the same time, okay? So my opinion, what you're gonna do is you're gonna transition from one to the other. That's what I do in everything I've ever done. Before I got into real estate, I owned the Mako. As I was in the Mako, I got the education and I gradually transitioned until I knew I was gonna make money. I already had money coming in and I could step from one to the other. I think the best option as an agent or even an investor, if you're looking to get into the commercial world, is to do exactly the same thing. So I'm gonna run you through some fundamental steps and just explain a little bit about the commercial world and what you can expect when getting into it, which might make for a smoother transition, okay? So again, agents, you wanna start doing residential work. The reason why you wanna start doing residential work is it's a lot easier to get that, and it's a lot easier to get money coming in the door. If you're in the commercial world and you just go straight into it, which listen, if you wanna do that and you can, God bless. If you've saved up some money, if you have that hunger and drive, if you're living in your parents' basement and you have no expenses, whatever it is. Remember, for as much as I know, I don't know anything. So what I would do is I would go out there and I would start getting residential business. I would get comfortable talking to people, I would get comfortable selling with people, I would get comfortable marketing, understand market, etc., and start getting that short-term cash flow in the door. Once you have a little bit of a pipeline of residential houses that you're either listing or working with buyers, it's easier to transition. Now, during that process, you're going to be working extremely hard because while you're running your full-time real estate business, doing residential real estate, which is going to be 40, 50, 60, 70 hours a week, you also have to prepare yourself for that second stage, which is getting that education. Now, there's a number of different ways you can get the education. A lot of people say, and this is probably a decent idea as well, that when you pick a broker to do residential real estate with, you might consider joining a brokerage that also has a pretty decent commercial arm, or at least some type of commercial presence. So there are people that you can talk to and reference. Keep in mind, my experience of commercial brokers and agents on Long Island, I can't comment about anywhere else, is they're not usually willing to share a tremendous amount of information or to educate. So to a certain extent, you kind of are on your own and you're gonna have to go out there and learn from other sources. Now, things I would recommend, I went to NYU. It was for my master's in real estate development. It was an unbelievable education. Columbia has one, there's a bunch of different ones. You can even take them online. The price points range anywhere from a few thousands to 100,000 plus. But I will guarantee you it is worth every dollar. There was a bunch of brokers in my graduating class, and these people were absolute fire and ready to go out there and take over the world. And there's a tremendous amount of money being a commercial broker. So my theory is, in order to be a successful commercial broker, you really have to understand exactly what I, as a developer, are looking for. How to value assets, cap rates, understanding the market, building costs, things of that nature. And if you haven't gone through one of these type of programs, it's going to be very difficult, in my opinion, for you to get that level of education. I have only met on Long Island one commercial broker who has anywhere near the understanding of what I have after going through this program, and he went through a similar program, and that is why. So it's very important. If you don't want to do that or can't afford it or whatever it might be, find yourself an amazing mentor. Mentors are great mentors in the commercial space, are difficult to find, but they are out there. If you want it bad enough, obviously you'll find somebody, but you need to have the education and you need to take the time. So, hey guys, if you haven't already, you have to join my text platform. I'm doing a ton of one-on-one engagement in there and giving away all my best secrets on fix and flip, rental properties, how to find off-market deals, and how to succeed at the highest level in the real estate business. Shoot me a text. We're out there, we're doing residential business, we're paying our bills, right? We're getting the education. Now we're gonna gradually start to transition. In the process of doing this business, we're gonna start to pick up additional commercial business, whether that be leasing, whether that be sales, etc. In my opinion, you always wanna have a little bit of a mixed bag of business also. So during this time, again, you're gonna be doing both. But in general, in business and life, you never want to be too nichey, in my opinion. And the reason why is when the economy takes a turn or things ebbs and flow and change, what they ultimately do, if you're a one-trick pony, you're going to be sitting there not being able to do any business. I'll give you an example. If you are an commercial office leasing agent, or even sales of office space, what happened to you in the last 2 years during COVID, the last year and a half during COVID? You're done. There's no business there. You can't do anything, right? No one's leasing office space, no one's really buying office space, and the whole culture of office is changing. So always have a mixed bag to allow yourself to be able to grow and mold and always be making money in some aspect of the business, all right? Be the area expert and not the asset expert. And this is exactly what I'm talking about having a mixed bag. What I tell to commercial agents all the time, I said, listen, you don't want to be the industrial guy or girl. You don't want to be the office guy or girl. You don't want to be the multifamily guy or girl. You want to be the Long Island guy or girl. You want to have an understanding and you want to spend the time getting educated, right? So that you understand, at least on a high level, every asset class out there. This way, when office goes bad, you can work on industrial, you can work on multifamily, you can work on self-storage, you can work on anything else. But if you don't, and the market changes on your particular asset class, and inevitably it will over the point of your career, you're gonna have a certain period of time where you're not able to do business. So very important. So that's agents, okay? On the investor side, very similar but different. This is exactly what I did. You don't have to do it this way, but this is what worked well for me and I feel is a good option. So if you're an investor, you start out doing basic fix and flips and buy and holds. Remember, I spent 3 or 4 years trading with Carl Chavone before I even did my first flip. I've been in the business for 6 years and we've done hundreds since then. So flips are great because it's flips. Wholesaling are great because it's short-term cash flow. You're selling these things, sometimes you sell on a piece of paper, so it's very quick. Sometimes you just put it back on the market, it's 3 months. Sometimes you're doing the actual flip, it's 6 months, 9 months, a year, whatever it is. But you build a pipeline of consistent sales and flips and wholesales. This way you have money coming in, all right? So that money is gonna be able to fund your commercial operation, it's gonna be able to fund your education, and it's gonna be able to pay your bills, okay? As a dual approach with that, you're also gonna be buying single family and small multifamily buy and hold properties. That's your security. All right, this way, if you can't do the flips or if you get super into commercial and you want to dedicate all your time to that, at least you have consistent cash flow coming in the door from your rentals that will be able to support you. Right? Plus, you'll understand the market, you'll get out there, you'll meet different players, you'll network, it'll make the transition easier. Right? So similar to the agents, once you get to that point, you want to get the education. So while you're working 60, 70, 80, 100 hours a week doing this, you're then going to get the education. Because let me tell you something, commercial is a totally different animal. totally different animal. Like I said, it's big money, it's a lot of time, and it's a real process, and there's not a lot of people that are out there that are gonna be willing to share with you the information. So you gotta get the education. Again, I recommend NYU, Columbia, mentors, things of that nature, but it's gonna take you time. I went all year round at NYU. I spent 2 years and a semester there, and I learned a ton, but I also had different mentors, and I did a ton of research on my own, reading books, etc. It's a process. It's gonna take you at least a few years to truly understand, or even begin to scratch the surface to understand the commercial world. And there's so many different facets of the commercial world. You can get things under contract and you can ground lease. You can get things under contract and then you can get approvals and sell them. You can build them and operate them. You can build them and lease them. I mean, there's so many different things that you can do. And during the educational process, you're going to figure out exactly what you like and what you want to do. So there's kind of like this exploratory period during the educational process, which is really important. It's going to tell you, what turns you on. I want to get the approvals and I just want to pass it off. Or you know what, I really like taking it from absolutely nothing all the way through the process and building it and operating it, or just building it and leasing it. It depends. Everybody's different. So again, join one of these programs. It's worth the time. It's definitely worth the money. Then you're going to transition. So like I did, as we're doing flips and buy and holds and the money's coming in, we're using that money to pay our bills and then to fund these projects. So right now we have a number of big commercial projects going on, from assisted living to multifamily to retail to self-storage. We are using the money that we're making here to get us through the approval process, because it's expensive. It's plans, it's environmental, it's attorneys, and it's years. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years in certain cases. So you really need the staying power. And this is going to fund that. So you start to get deals in the pipeline, the deals start to pay off. As the deals start to pay off, you then transition from the single family world into the commercial world, if that's what you want. But again, having a mixed bag on a bunch of different levels is very, very, very important, right? So you can have a mixed bag in the sense that, maybe I'll do big commercial deals and do a lot more of that, but maybe I'll always have a segment of my business that's doing fix and flips because it's just easy. We have the machine set up and it's constant cash flow, and why give that up? Or you'll just transition into the commercial world and you'll have enough assets there that'll be able to sustain you when you're looking for the bigger projects. The cool thing about commercial is you don't have to do 1 million projects a year. You could do 1 or 2 or 3 big projects a year, and those are huge. It's the same thing as doing, if not better, 50, 60, 100, 200 flips a year. And in certain ways, it's easier. But if you're in the commercial world, again, you want to have a mixed bag. You want to understand all the different asset classes like I do. So essentially, if you're an office developer and you're leasing office and building office and COVID comes, what are you doing? You're out of business for, let's say, the next 2 to 5 years. But if you understand, if you're the area expert and you understand, at least on a high level, all the different asset classes from multifamily to self-storage to industrial, you can then transition and pivot and get into those projects and put your investors' money into those projects. This way you won't lose your investors, and you'll always be active in the market, and you'll be diversified just in case. If you're gonna keep these and you're gonna have the portfolio, if you had 20% office, 20% industrial, 20% multifamily, 20% self-storage, 20% retail, and office and retail aren't doing great, at least you have those other 3 legs to prop you up, and you know they're gonna be making money and probably performing better than they ever have before, all right? Always be learning. It's extremely important to never be afraid to take risks, always look for something different, and always be learning. Right now, we're jumping on the 3D printed house train. It's never been done before. Who knows how it's gonna turn out? I'm very confident that it will be the future and it's gonna be amazing, but you never know. But you always have to be pivoting and reaching and looking for the next best thing, because either you're growing or you're essentially dying. So the main points of this are, obviously, you want to get the short-term cash flow in and you want to start on the residential. Second, education. Super, super, super important. Spend the time, spend the money to get educated. Then you're going to make that transition, but you're always going to have a mixed bag. And then once you're there, you're going to keep getting educated and always reach and grow and look for new things. Because again, if you're not growing, you're dying. I appreciate you watching. If you've gone this far, please click the like, the subscribe, ring the bell, and obviously comment down below. If you're interested in learning about other things in the real estate world, whether that be residential or commercial, please let us know. We're happy to make a video for you. We appreciate it. Have a good day.